All over between Chelsea and Real Madrid at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea running out 2-0 winners to book their place in the final. They'll be going to Istanbul to face Manchester City in an all-English UEFA Champions League final. And Chelsea fully deserved it. You know, there's no getting away from that. When I saw the Real Madrid lineup, I thought this is a decent Real Madrid side. And yes, Chelsea had the away goal, which obviously gave them an advantage going into this second leg. But Chelsea were completely dominant of a Real Madrid side that I at least expected to give them a few more problems than they did. But the truth is, Chelsea could have won that game by 5 or 6 goals. You know, they created all the chances. They missed a load of chances. And at one point, it looked as though it was going to be one of those nights for Thomas Tuchel's side. It looked as though they were going to give all the effort, they were going to huff, they were going to puff, but they weren't going to be able to get that decisive goal, and that Real Madrid were going to go down the other end and nick one. You know, Real Madrid, experienced campaigners in this competition, a side that, you know, you can never really write off. But Chelsea managed to get that second goal, and it was a really good goal, well-worked goal. Kante winning the ball high up the pitch, Pulisic pulling the ball back across the 6-yard box, and there was Mason Mount. And if anyone was going to get the goal that sealed Chelsea's place in the Champions League final, you know, Mason Mount absolutely deserves it. He's been an incredible performer for them over the last few months. There were some question marks around sort of whether he was going to get as much game time under Thomas Tuchel. I remember that when Thomas Tuchel came in his first game, he actually left Mason Mount out of the side, and people were questioning what that would mean for him. But his performances have been so good, and I'm assuming that he's shown so much on the training ground that Thomas Tuchel's had no choice really but to select Mason Mount, and he's established himself as one of Chelsea's best players. He's improved under Tuchel, as has everybody else. And for those Chelsea fans that were moaning, complaining, whinging about the way Frank Lampard was sacked, well, this is what you get when you get a top coach. This is what you get when you have a coach who's a brilliant tactician, who gets the best out of all of his players, who has the ability to assess an opponent, read an opponent. And Chelsea had the upper hand over both legs against Real Madrid, not against a bunch of farmers. This was Real Madrid, and Chelsea had the upper hand throughout the 2 legs. And that is because Thomas Tuchel has come in and he has utilised a very talented squad in the best way possible. I can't remember the last time I looked at a manager who'd come into the Premier League and made my mind up on how good he was so quickly. Yes, we'd seen Tuchel at Dortmund before, and during his time at Dortmund, I was a little bit like, well, it's entertaining football and it's good football and it's the way football should be played. But will he ever get to that top level? Then he got the PSG job, and, you know, he went to the Champions League final last year, which was a great achievement. But winning Ligue 1 with them, is it something to really judge a manager on? Probably not. But he's come to Chelsea and he's completely turned their fortunes around. And this team are unrecognisable from the side that Frank Lampard had. Not only are they creating opportunities, but defensively, they're almost impossible to breach. They've got such a solid shape. And what I thought they did really cleverly tonight was they half-pressed, right? And I know that was picked up in the commentary as well. I know Glenn Hoddle was talking about it quite a bit, but it's a really, really interesting point. Chelsea were not pressing Real Madrid at 100 miles an hour throughout the game, particularly in the first half. They were dropping off that little bit deeper, allowing Madrid to have the ball at the back. And Madrid were trying to suck them out, trying to invite them onto them, and they just weren't having it, Chelsea, because tactically they were completely aware and fully understood what Real Madrid were planning to do. And that is because they've got a top coach. They've got top players. Of course they have. They spent an absolute fortune. But to have that top coach to finish it all off is obviously making the difference for them at the moment. And you can see it here. Timo Werner obviously got the first goal for Chelsea as well. And, you know, a lot of people have slagged off Timo Werner throughout this season and talked about his sort of inability to convert chances. The number of chances he's missed, obviously, when you pay that much money for a striker, has been of concern to Chelsea fans. But the reality is he's always getting in those positions. He's always in the right places. And, you know, with all good strikers, yes, you will go through dips in form. But if you're getting in the right positions and you're getting on the end of things, then I think you have to be patient. I think you can always see that it's going to come. And I think with Timo Werner, it is going to come. You know, Kai Havertz is another one who's developed and is continuing to progress. And you know, I honestly believe that Chelsea will probably be, or certainly should be, Manchester City's, you know, biggest rivals for the title next season, because they are, as I said, they're completely unrecognisable. They're a much better side than the side that Frank Lampard had, without a doubt. And that's because they've stepped it up in terms of their manager. Talking a little bit about Real Madrid, though, you know, as I talked about the fact that when I saw the team, I thought this was a very good Real Madrid side and they should do more. They were toothless. They really, really were. They were lackluster. Didn't really create a great deal of their own. You know, that Benzema shot at the end of the first half, or in the first half, that forced the save out of Mendy. But other than that, they didn't do a great deal. And that's largely down to them not being at the races. But it goes back to that point of Chelsea being able to nullify you, being able to strangle the game, being able to keep possession, but equally being able to switch it up so that when they are playing against the side who are more capable, they can drop off that little bit. They can pick and choose when to press that little bit higher and win the ball back higher up the pitch, as they did with Kante in the build-up to the second goal. So, you know, Real Madrid were disappointing, but credit to Chelsea, because under Thomas Tuchel, as I say, they're a completely different animal. Defensively, they're brilliant. They've got lots of talent in the attacking areas. And I would say they're as good a side as most in Europe right now. Genuinely, they are so good under Tuchel. He's made all the difference. Defensively, they're sound. And he deserves a lot of praise. And obviously, it's an all-English final, which is great for the Premier League. Not great for me, because I'd love them both to lose. Obviously, Arsenal being London rivals with Chelsea means I don't want to see Chelsea lift the trophy. But equally, if Manchester City were to win it, that would be another English club who would go on to lift the trophy before Arsenal do. So from that sense, I don't want them to win it either. So you know, it is what it is. Looking ahead to tomorrow, of course, you've got the UEFA Europa League semi-finals. Manchester United are through. They'll be in the final. And let's see if Arsenal can make it an all-English Europa League final as well. And for English football, you know, that would be some achievement, wouldn't it, to have 4 teams contesting the 2 major European finals and completely dominating on that front. So let's see how that goes tomorrow. Let's turn our attention to the Arsenal game, of course, but wanted to do a quick video on this one because I thought Chelsea's display was that impressive, both from a defensive standpoint and from an attacking standpoint. As I said, it looked at one stage as though they were going to rue those missed chances, but they managed to find the second goal and book their place in the final. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Manchester City as well. And may the best team win. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're new. I'm going to try and bring you a few more of these reaction videos looking at the wider sport outside of Arsenal as well. But as I say, hit the like button, smash subscribe too while you're at it, and I'll catch you very soon. Cheers.